of Motor City soul, gospel, and holiday classics, featuring an 18-piece band, all-star vocalist, and community choirs, all in support of the Black LA Relief and Recovery Fund. This performance comes at a pivotal time for many in Altadena and Pasadena. This is their first holiday season since the devastating Altadena Eden Canyon fire, which destroyed homes and community spaces. While the physical losses are immense, the power of community remains, and your attendance directly supports recovery, resilience, and renewal. So, be sure to join us Monday, December 15th, 7 p.m. inside the Graham Goldsmith Theater at the Wallace in Beverly Hills for Soul of the Holidays, benefiting survivors of the Altadena Eden Canyon fire. For ticket information, just log on to tickets@thewallace.org. That's tickets@thewallace.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580 and the Black Freedom Fund.
What you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. I look funny, but yo, I'm making money, see? So yo, world, I hope you're ready for me. Now gather round. I'm the new fool in town, and my sound's laid down by the underground. I drink a bottle of Hennessy you got on your shelf, so just let me introduce myself. My name is Humpty, pronounced with the umpty. Yo, ladies, oh, how I like to funk thee. And all the rappers in the top 10, please allow me to bump thee. I'm stepping tall, y'all, and just like Humpty Dumpty, you're gonna fall when the stereos pump me. I like to rhyme, I like my beats funky, I'm spunky. I like my oatmeal lumpy, I'm sick with this. Straight gangsta Mac. But sometimes I get ridiculous. I'll eat up all your crackers and your licorice. Oh, yo, fat girl, come here, are you ticklish? Yeah, I called you fat. Look at me, I'm skinny. It never stopped me from getting busy. I'm a freak. I like the girls with the boom. I'm crazy. Allow me to amaze thee. They say I'm ugly, but it just don't faze me. The Humpty Dance is your chance to do the hump. Come on. Do the Humpty Hump. Come on, do the Humpty Hump.
Okay, Miles, you getting an early start on your holiday? Is that what's going on? He's on his digital underground. What? Shout out. Rest in peace, Greg. Shock G. Yeah. Gone too soon. Man almighty. All right, so what do you want to talk about? It's a Talking Point Tuesday, 800-920-1580. That's the number. Look, this whole thing with the president going after Mark Kelly, well, they say it's the Pentagon going after him, but it's really Trump. It's always at Trump's behest that these things happen, is insane. You want to talk about a talking point. They're saying they're going to call him back to duty so they can court-martial this guy because he made a video telling troops to not follow illegal orders. So he told troops to follow the law, so now he's meant to be court-martialed? I mean, if that's not a crazy talking point, that it is traitorous to tell the military to follow the law, even though that is one of the things they are told in their training. It's one of the things they are told in their basic training. Don't comply with illegal orders. So the talking point is that something that all military service members are told in basic training to make a video about that is traitorous. That a U.S. senator, a sitting senator, there are a few jobs in this country or in the world that are more prestigious than being a sitting U.S. senator. They're saying he broke the law by saying military law, by saying something that is part of military training in a video. We are really over there. We're really over there in make stuff up land. We're really over there in alternative fact world. We're really over there in Talking Points Gone Wild video. This one, it's not even, you don't even need a progressive mindset. They made a video saying don't break the law, and now they're being called traitors. How are we even having this argument? How is this even an argument? How is this even a conversation? Look, I know we got lots of other things to talk about, right? Lots of important things. But the reason that this is really riling me up is because it is so ridiculous. The talking point is so far out there that I think if we allow this to stand, game over. We're on some just say anything, do anything. And you could say, well, Trump's been on that for a while. Yeah, that is true. But at least we have some pushback from the people. We have some pushback from the courts. We have some pushback from those of us who like facts and evidence. Those of us who are, old-fashioned. We read. We like our facts to match our declarations. Those folks. Okay, so you're saying that you're going to court-martial this guy for making a video telling troops not to follow illegal orders. Does that mean, no, on the flip side, you wanted him to make a video saying break the law if Trump or Pete Hegseth say so? That's pretty much what you're, if you reverse engineer that, it's pretty much what it is. So apparently there's a federal law that means that the Pentagon can recall retired military people to active duty if the defense secretary, or the secretary of war, I guess as they're now calling him, wants to court-martial them. So that's what they're talking about doing. Woo! That's next level crazy, people. It really, really is. Well, you're invited to call me, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. And there was so many stunning things that happened on yesterday. The passing of Viola Fletcher. I don't think that should be stunning, but it is in the sense that, as I said, she lived to be 111 and still didn't get to see justice. At least she got to speak her piece. She was able to witness the world finally paying attention to a terrible race riot, white people rioting, burning down an entire neighborhood, 36 blocks, more than 1,000 homes. Now, the thing about it is when reading the obituaries and tributes to Mama Fletcher, Viola Fletcher, the oldest survivor of the Tulsa race massacre, they say, one of the worst incidents of racial violence in our country. Really, do we know that? Because actually, Greenwood was one of many around that period of time, around 1919 to 1923, black communities and neighborhoods rampaged on by angry mobs, flooded with water, burnt to the ground, taken through racially motivated eminent domain. We don't know if it's the worst or not. We don't even know how many people died there. We don't know. And we may never know. But I think what we need to be clear on is that this was not a one-off. It was not an isolated incident. It wasn't even that unusual. And that it wasn't only unhinged, the Nick Fuenteses of the 1920s. It was also the government. Law enforcement. Greenwood was firebombed from the air. Yeah, you hear that, but many times it's buried or not said at all. And the police records, quote unquote, vanished. Just the way today they like to edit that body cam footage. Oh, there's minutes missing. How did that happen? Even the newspaper archives were altered, edited, redacted. And, because of where we were at in the world, because of the Black Lives Matter movement, because of what happened in 2020 with George Floyd and people's consciousness being raised, that happening right before the 100th anniversary of this incident, which was one of many, and I think we need to stand on that. This is not a terrible one-time thing. It was part of a continuum, is part of a continuum of violence against black people, of anti-blackness in this country. Can you imagine if the Civil War would be over and we got our 40 acres and a mule and we got left alone to grow in peace and build in peace? Just leave us alone. Don't come over here. Don't burn nothing down. Just let us be. And even better if they would have provided the guarantee of non-repetition, which is part of what reparation is, right? So therefore, we would have been protected by federal troops from the likes of the KKK or the Tulsa mob. Can you imagine how much further ahead we would be if you would just leave us in peace and let us do what we need to do to rebuild and repair our own community? Can you imagine? That's a whole different place than where we are now. Folks like to say, speaking of talking points, that we want a handout. We want a free lunch. Can you just leave us alone and let us have nice things? How many black neighborhoods from Santa Monica all the way east have been taken by eminent domain? Oh, sorry, we need to build a freeway here. We're taking your house. We're ruining your neighborhood. And the massacres and the stealing of our things and the burning down and the rip-offs. Just stay over there. Leave us alone. Let us cook. If that would have happened, the economic and political power of black people in this country, descendants of freedmen, would be enormously different than it is now. And I believe we have to speak that and make it known. Hand out what? We built this place. Are you kidding me? Can't we be left in peace to build and grow and invent and make better? Because that's what we've done. Can you imagine this country without us? Boring. Bad food, bad music, bad fashion. Oh my, rest in peace, Mama Viola Fletcher. Rest in peace. They're leaving us. Rest in peace, Jamil Al-Amin, a.k.a. H. Rap Brown. What a week. What a week. 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavish Smiley. We want to speak directly to our listeners in Altadena and all across Southern California. Recently, we invited Southern California Edison to join a town hall so fire survivors could ask questions and get clear information about the Altadena Eaton fire and this so-called settlement fund. Weeks before the event, the law firm originally connected to the program withdrew, and we provided SCE updated materials confirming those changes. But despite that, SCE later stated publicly and privately that they were pulling out of the town hall because plaintiffs' attorneys were participating. That was not accurate, and SCE knew that it was not accurate. But when shown documentation that disproved their claim, SCE ignored it and declined to correct the record. At KBLA Talk 1580, trust is not an option. It is the foundation of our work and witness. It is the promise that we make to you. And so we will not move forward with any partnership that misrepresents the facts or undermines the credibility that we have built in love and service to this beloved community. Our commitment remains with the good people of Altadena. We will continue providing independent, verified information to support your recovery without interference from any outside entity, including Southern California Edison, so you don't get burned twice. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
If you've been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, this is what it sounds like to be 1,000,000 miles away. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. Tremfya Kuselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. In clinical trials, at least 70% of patients saw at least 90% clearer skin at 16 weeks. Results may vary. Tremfya is also indicated for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Call 1-800-526-7736 or visit tremfya.com.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Conversation sure does continue right now. There's so much to cover. A judge on yesterday said nope to the prosecutions of Leticia James and James Comey. Of course, the Justice Department is going to appeal, and they're going to do everything in their power. But it's pretty wild that... Why did it happen? Because of Trump improperly appointing a prosecutor, which is the same thing he's done with Bill O'Saley here in LA, right? Extending the guy's term. They are supposed to be approved by Congress. If you don't approve, if the Senate doesn't approve it, then they only have 120 days. He did the same thing in New Jersey with Alina Habba, who's the prosecutor who arrested my brother and then had to drop the charges. Same with Bill O'Saley. And now this one, this is a result of him just doing whatever he wants. Judge Cameron McGowan Curry said, no, this prosecutor, Lindsay Halligan, he just appointed her. But you don't get to appoint two people without having the approval of the Congress. He's just making up rules, and now the judge calls him on it. Now these two cases fall apart, and I'm sure they'll appeal, and they'll probably, be harassing Leticia James and James Comey legally until their last breath. Nevertheless, it's a great moment. It's a huge setback for the administration, and it's showing that there are still some people, a few, who are willing to follow the rule of law. Let's go to Fred calling us from L.A. Good morning, Fred.
Hello, Dominique. Happy Thanksgiving. Okay.
Same to you, sir.
Thank you. The midnight train to Georgia involves Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and her boyfriend, Freddie Mac. It's Fonnie Willis here from Inglewood, California. And she said, this train is coming, and I'm quoting her. Well, her case finally went to the Georgia Supreme Court, and they ruled that she booked a ticket on the 1953 Sunset Limited, and now she can no longer be on the case. You connect the dots?
I think you're trying to be a rapper. That's what I think.
No, I'm 73. I'm too old for that. I'm retired.
Yeah, I know you're retired. What's your point?
Well, she said this train is coming. And
no, don't say what you said again. I mean, just tell me what your point is. Like, put it in your own.
She got knocked off the case. That's all. That's the only
okay,
point
so
I'm
you're still
morning.
Celebrating that.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the case is allegedly still going to go forward.
I understand that.
I mean, it's a shame because, it's going to take them 100 years to get to where she was.
Well, they're probably not going to continue the case till Trump is out of office. He thinks he's going to win it. He thinks he's going to win Jean Carroll, and he thinks he's going to win the 32 felonies. But all we'll have to
and they probably, as usual, he gets away with murder. He told us.
He hasn't killed anybody yet.
It depends how you look at it, Fred. I mean, the removal of USAID is said to have killed well over 500,000 people, many of them children, through starvation or unnecessary death due to lack of medication that they were promised by the Congress, which the funds were already approved to pay for. So it depends on how you look at whether or not he's killed anybody.
Oh, I'll give you a better example than that. The drug boats in the Caribbean.
Yeah, that is a better example. And we don't know that they were drug boats. There was no trial. There is no proof. There are no receipts. They're just civilian vessels that he decided to bomb. That is not a drug boat. You call it a drug boat, but you call an elephant a pig. So, that's you and your delusional perspective. The fact of the matter is there's a reason why we have courts and due process. You don't just get to pick a vehicle. Imagine if he was doing that on the 405, Fred. Oh, well, I think that's a drug vehicle and that's a drug vehicle. So blow that one up, blow that one up, blow that one up, and we'll find out later. No, that's not how it works. You have to prove that the person was committing a crime. You don't kill first and do a trial later.
There's only one thing wrong. I've been deep sea fishing in international waters. They don't look like fishing boats to me, or the boat that
You know what?
on.
I don't care if they look like Barney and the dinosaurs. I don't care what they look like. You don't get to just kill people. You don't get to kill people. I don't care if you're a government, an activist. You don't get to just kill people. People deserve due process. Life is precious. You don't get to be judge, jury, and executioner. And that is exactly what they are doing with those Caribbean vessels. And those are war crimes. Even people in the military are balking at this, Fred. I'm glad you're not the president. That's what I can say.
Wait a minute.
I'm glad you're part of our KBLA delegation, Fred. I do enjoy talking to you, but I'm glad you're not the president. Because that's on that Duterte, Philippine, vigilante justice stuff where you think you can just go shoot someone in the head. You're a drug dealer. I'm going to kill you.
To Bin Laden? Didn't Barack Obama
you don't think we didn't
have
have receipts on Bin Laden? You're crazy. We had all kinds of receipts on Bin Laden. Bin Laden there was evidence. There were letters. There were threats. They took credit. Excuse me, Fred. They took credit for the bombing of the World Trade Center. Al-Qaeda did. We are not guessing that they did it. They took credit for it. Those little fishing vessels off the Caribbean coast, even if they were drug vessels, which we know from the evidence we've seen so far, they most likely were not. They never said we're drug vessels coming, they never said that. No one ever admitted anything. You just bombing random boats.
Dominique, bye.
He finally hung up on me instead of me hanging up on him. That's a good sign. That means I'm on a roll today. No, look, the logic that you can just roll up on someone and kill them, that's beyond a Democrat or a Republican. You get that, right? That's pathological. That's homicidal. That's murder. Murder. That's murder. Okay. Kwamel from Gardena, you have the mic.
Hello there, once again. See, why'd you have to have me follow Right Said Fred, though? Oh, jeez Louise. See, I was gonna, just have a nice pre-holiday chat with you. Just kind of, just checking in.
So are you cooking, Kwamel? You cooking?
I mean, I got my spice game together, though.
Okay, all right.
I had the foresight to buy a number of gadgets, vegetable steamers, hand blenders.
Okay.
New cutting board. Getting decent knives. Rest in peace, Bed Bath & Beyond. Rest in peace, that little cooking store in the Dalmo Mall. They closed on me, and they were the place I could get the bombness. So, unfortunately, had to try to figure it out between Burlington and Marshalls and Home Goods. I couldn't find a freaking roasting tray that fit my oven.
Okay.
Like, you think we're all rich with Viking products, like we all go to Pacific Sales somewhere, you know? that we all get to outfit our kitchens with the latest $10,000 brushed aluminum numbers. No, we don't get to do that.
Yeah, we work with the oven we got, right? But see how quickly we de-escalated that, Kwamel? Law enforcement, take note.
Matter of fact, no, I want to talk about that because I had to deal with that at work yesterday, and I'd like to think that part of what surged me in being able to de-escalate a situation with a kind of drunk brother in the hood is what yourself, Tavis, and many others, you know, even Zoe Williams in a sense, kind of teach us, you know, and I'm proud to be in the 1580 radio universe because y'all kind of model how to have these words with folks or how to just listen to them. And then, you know, find a better way forward, you know, listening to understand instead of listening to respond. That kind of is necessary, you know, when we deal with the hood, you know, we gotta kind of listen to the hood. The hood don't feel listened to. And that's a thing that we all need to keep in mind as progressives or people pursuing the progressive worldview or trying to be better fit persons, is that idea that, you know, we're in community, so we got to listen to them. We can't just talk at them. You know, we can't just be like, we know best, none of that stuff. Nah, we got to hear them because, you know, we on the turf, and the turf wants to talk to us. You know, it's just like our indigenous brothers and sisters when they talk about being part of the land.
Kwamel, hold that thought. I would love for you to continue your thought after news, traffic, and sports, as I will continue mine. And you're all invited in. This is how we do it. KBLA, Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Florida's GOP race for governor adds another name, investment CEO Jack Fishback. He took a swipe at black Republican Congressman Byron Donalds, whose campaign fired back, calling Fishback an anti-Trump rhino.
He is a slave to the corporate interests, to the tech bros that want to turn our state into, his own words, a financial capital.
Fishback's platform focused on affordability and banning corporate home buying. The oldest survivor of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre has died. Viola Fletcher passed away Monday at the age of 111. Former President Barack Obama was among many to pay tribute to Fletcher, posting on X that he and former First Lady Michelle Obama were sending their love to her family. And Chance the Rapper will bring in the new year in his hometown of Chicago, hosting the city's debut as a Central Time Zone location for Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest 2026. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Interesting game at Crypto.com Arena tonight in downtown LA. The Lakers and Clippers meet up for the first time this season. The outlook for both teams at the start of the season is very different. At 12-4, the Lakers have the third best record in the Western Conference, despite not having LeBron for the first 14 games. The Clippers have the fourth worst record in the West at 5-12. They were 2-7 while Kawhi Leonard missed 9 games with an ankle injury. Leonard returned to the lineup Sunday at Cleveland, but will he be at full strength to deal with LeBron or Luka Doncic? This is a national TV game tonight on NBC. The Clippers' problems could get exposed to the entire country. As for the Lakers, the country will see why they are one of the NBA's surprise teams. 8 o'clock tip-off. Top 5 women's college basketball teams in this week's top 25 poll: UConn, South Carolina, 6-0 UCLA, Texas, and LSU. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, KBLA 1580 delegation, your health matters to us. We know that information is power, especially when it comes to prevention and treatment. That's why we're proud to introduce the brand new KBLA Health and Wellness Hub. This online space is built just for you, connecting our community to trusted health resources, culturally relevant care, and even access to diverse clinical trials and emerging therapies. Whether you're looking for information on common conditions, mental health support, or just want to stay on top of your wellness journey, we got you. And the best part, it's all on our website at KBLA1580.com. Accessible, empowering, community-focused. So just go to KBLA1580.com and click on the Health and Wellness Hub icon, because knowledge is power and your health is everything. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Head to the Skirball Cultural Center for a thought-provoking contemporary art exhibition, Draw Them In, Paint Them Out. Trenton Doyle Hancock confronts Philip Guston. Explore resonant connections between the work of American Jewish painter Philip Guston and the work of Trenton Doyle Hancock, a leading Black American contemporary artist, in dialogue for the first time. While engaging with the artwork, consider the role that artists play in the pursuit of social justice. Plan your visit at skirball.org. Metro is teaming up with the Neighborhood NIP Foundation and the Think Watts Foundation for their first inaugural turkey giveaway. On Tuesday, November 25th from noon to 4 at Neighborhood NIP Foundation headquarters, formerly Marathon Store, come pick up your free turkey while supplies last. Take the Metro K-Line and get off at Hyde Park Station. The Neighborhood NIP Foundation building is just 1 block away.
This holiday season, KBLA Talk 1580 wishes you and yours joy, peace, and prosperity. As we celebrate with family and friends, we're already looking forward to an exciting first quarter, packed with must-attend events to kick off the new year just right. In January, join us for our inaugural Brotherhood Brunch, bringing together community leaders, change makers, and everyday people for inspiration and connection. February means it's time for our signature Black History Month luncheon, a powerful celebration you won't want to miss. And in March, Women's History Month, we're once again hosting our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium and Luncheon, addressing the issues that matter most inside our community. From all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, happy holidays. Stay tuned for more details on these incredible upcoming events. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice, your community, your power.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
You are, and we're glad you're here. Kwamel was breaking it down while we started talking about Fred, who was going off about how happy he was that people are being blown up on fishing boats because the president says they're drug boats, or whatever they are, even if they are drug boats. Then he started off talking about Fonnie Willis and how glad he is that she's off the case. I guess he's got to savor his small victories when they're having a few setbacks, very few setbacks, with the, judge throwing out the James Comey and Leticia James cases for now. And of course, the entire disaster that was the Ukraine-Russia peace plan, or that's been a whole mess. I mean, the messes are too many to enumerate, but right now he's not looking real good. His approval ratings are real far down. And so Fred was trying to gloat about what he could gloat about. We quickly de-escalated to talking about the size of our ovens and what cooking tools we require. And then Kwamel was sharing a story about the de-escalation he had to do at work. And I do think it's a good point, because one of the things, Kwamel, that I differ from when it comes to some of the talk radio folks, and especially the cable TV talkers, is that I don't think it's a good idea to tell people, MAGA people or Republican people, that they're stupid, or I don't think occasionally I do it. Usually I'm talking about the president. But as far as regular people, I feel like we need to give people an off-ramp, that folks do deserve to be heard, that we can agree to disagree, and that we can redeem people. We can, not that we redeem them, they redeem themselves, but we can give them the space to redeem themselves, is what I mean.
I was actually talking about that with your man, John Wood. The idea of bearing in mind that we're in a community of human beings, and keeping in mind as we deal with folks that may be doing a thing that's disagreeable, even that they're still human beings, they're still in the human family, and that they're not vermin as a lot of the energy on the right tends to go. And I mean, I'm not trying to, whip up an anti-right lather right now, so much as just giving understanding of the high road that we're trying to take. Not on that Michelle Obama tip, but remembering what we're actually trying to build. And what I believe that to be is our building our power, which, as you just got through talking about with the whole "if they only left us alone" thing, that's what I call the Toni Morrison rule, because Toni Morrison often would talk about that idea of, if we didn't have to make all these ways to fight racial attack or prove that we're human to people that don't want to see us as human, imagine all the great things you'd have seen on this earth. And I don't have her exact quote on that, but that's my understanding that I take away from what she and many others that picked up on that said. So it is important that we're out there building power and not giving in, wanting to just be on what we think is like the winning side. I think, unfortunately, some brothers, Right Said Fred included, might have gone onto a thing where they think, the devil is one, I want to be on the winning side, maybe I'll be saved in this whole thing. And that's not a healthy way to go, because these are unhealthy people that we're dealing with. They're sick people. And it's important that we're showing them, okay, like, you can still be healed. You know what I'm saying? Until the day you're gone,
I think so.
You can still be healed, as you guys are modeled, including yourself.
I mean, because I want, when I mess up, I'm not even going to say if, when I mess up, I want to be given grace. Don't you?
Damn right.
Grace to reinvent, grace to resurrect, to do better, and I believe that's one of the miracles of human existence, is that we can change, we can adjust, we can adapt, and so if we don't leave space for that, we might as well be them, just condemning people and bombing people in their boats before we even know who they are. Like, kill first, ask questions later. No, that's not what we're doing.
Indeed, yeah. And I'll land the plane on that note. That whole drill of stupid choices being made in teens or 20s or even 30s sometimes, that as long as you're around and you are willing to do the work and get to it, some miracles are going to come out of that brain of yours and the muscles of yours, that heart of yours, that will probably have people thinking like, damn, you were some other person way back when, like I did not know, because I did the freaking work. You know what I'm saying? Some things that I know many of us will never want to talk about, and I think we don't need to. But if we're showing each other proper grace, not letting people get away with murder and fraud and robbery, but if we're showing people grace on walking them back onto the path, I think we'll all be in a more thankful place for it. On that note, I thank you for your time. Peace.
Yeah, thank you, Kwamel. And maybe you know this already, but many people didn't realize that Mackenzie Scott, the former wife of Jeff Bezos, the philanthropist who's given literally hundreds of millions of dollars to HBCUs was an intern and student of Toni Morrison. And so when you talk about the seeds being planted, the seeds of consciousness, I'm not saying that she was a white supremacist or anything like that. She was married to that dude. She was an early investor and supporter of, and she's worth $32 billion. I didn't realize that she was a novelist. I didn't even know that she had won an American Book Award for The Testing of Luther Albright, which was her debut novel. And she has a second one, Traps, that was published in 2013. I did not realize that because I just associated her with Bezos, and I figured, she was busy with Amazon. I guess I didn't pay attention. But, you were citing you were citing Toni Morrison and what she said about how if we could just be free to stop fighting white supremacy, imagine all the things we could do. It reminded me of the seeds of consciousness that Toni Morrison planted and cultivated probably through her mentorship of Mackenzie Scott, which bears fruit to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars going to HBCUs in a time when anything that supports and helps black people seems to be under attack, being outlawed, and yet we're doing great things every day, and yet those seeds that Toni Morrison planted are growing, and yet we continue to raise consciousness, and we continue to see amazing work being done on city, county, state levels, and yet we continue to see progress on reparations. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. We'll say that. Kwamel called 800-920-1580. I invite you to do the same. 800-920-1580. It is the perfect day to call me, whether you want to talk about the size of your oven, like Kwamel did, or whether you want to pay tribute to Viola Fletcher. I'm sure that Tavis will probably have some great stuff to share for you on that today, whether you want to talk about Jamil Alameen, a.k.a. H-Rap Brown. Somebody sent me a DM yesterday of him with my dad in a photo I had never seen. Thank you. Thank you for that. I think it's important that we here on KBLA and in our circles, whether it's Assata Shakur or Viola Fletcher, that we pay tribute, that we say their names and tell their stories the way we see them with what's important to us as a means of counterbalancing whatever that official narrative is, which many times, even when they get a few things right, they emphasize stuff that might not be as important, or they leave out things that are crucial to our understanding and why we celebrate a person that may be vilified by the mainstream media. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Days after the Eaton fire devastated entire neighborhoods in Pasadena and Altadena, Black Freedom Fund, an organization that invests in leaders and organizations transforming black communities, established the Black LA Relief and Recovery Fund. The Black LA Relief and Recovery Fund is supporting local organizations, providing direct resources to families, and making sure that recovery reflects the needs and voices of the people who live there. For many, the journey to rebuild is just beginning, and the Black Freedom Fund is committed to being with them every step of the way. Stand with Dina. Donate by texting Black LA to the number 707070. That's Black LA to 707070. Together, we can help our neighbors rebuild their homes, lives, and hope. The Black Freedom Fund is proud to sponsor Conversation Live, Altadena Rising, with James Farr on KBLA, Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
You belong here. I'm glad you are here, and you're welcome to call here at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. So I am heartbroken about what's going on in Tanzania. I love Tanzania so much. Well, Miles, you got to go there. You got to go to Zanzibar. I actually have been to Tanzania twice. It is the country where Geronimo Gijaga, when he was released from prison, is where he went to live out the rest of his days, which were pretty short, actually. But now, and I've been there twice, and I love it there so much. It's beautiful. The people are kind. That is the home of the semi-autonomous zone called Zanzibar. And now, following this presidential election, we're hearing reports that seem to be credible of mass violence. The President Samia Suluhu Hassan, who is a woman, by the way, hijabi woman, who said, there was a disputed presidential election. Some of the candidates were kept out. Hassan said she won with 98% of the vote. This is back in October, but she kept some of her rivals out of the race. And now CNN has got a whole report about the killings, the crackdown following the election. And they have pictures. Morgues with piles of bodies satellite images and videos that show the soil being moved, which they say tracks with reports of mass graves in this cemetery called the Kondo Cemetery, which is near Dar es Salaam, which is a beautiful, huge city. Protesters, they claim, Human Rights Watch, among others, claiming that protesters are just being murdered. There was a curfew after the election. There was an internet blackout. But now, with satellite imaging and geolocating, when folks try to find out what's going on, it's much harder to hide anything now. People were protesting because they were angry that all of the candidates didn't get to run in the election, including this guy Tundu Lissu, who's been the main leader of the opposition party. And now the president there has launched a commission to investigate the protests. But she's also saying that the protesters were paid. And I'm trying to, who would pay those protesters? Now, to be fair, the Tanzanian government is saying that CNN is being biased and they're not allowing the government to respond to their charges. But the bodies, the pictures, the photos are there. The satellite images are there. You can see them. They're on CNN World. It's pretty horrible. I don't know if you're ready for it, but you can see them. And the UN Human Rights Office is saying that based on information they've cobbled together from multiple sources, that they believe hundreds of protesters and other random civilians were killed. It's heartbreaking, and it makes me wonder what's going on, because Tanzania has been a stable democracy for decades. It's very, very disheartening, and I need more information. I need to do some research on this and talk to some scholars who can go a little deeper than what I'm seeing here. It's very troubling. Let's go to Carl calling us from LA. Good morning, Carl.
Hey, good morning to you, Dominique. How you doing this morning?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm hoping I get to see the mayor at Exposition Park December the 6th this year, and let her and talk about this emergency rent relief stuff that's going on. It's back in the news again. Emergency rent relief for people that need help, and maybe I could get a question or an answer from her if I catch her over there at Exposition Park.
What's the question? What would you ask her if you? Because even if you catch her, as you say, that the possibility that we get to ask a question in a busy public appearance is slim. You may, but what question would you ask?
What is she going to do with all these emergency Section 8 vouchers that she got out there that haven't turned into regular Section 8 housing vouchers? There's a lot of emergency housing vouchers out there right now, and she hasn't said anything about it. I don't want to get nothing stirred up, but people are waiting on their emergency vouchers to turn into regular Section 8 housing vouchers. Since we start on time right now, Dominique, they got this book out about H. Rap Brown, how he lost his eye. I remember back in the 70s, I ran into him up in the county jail, and he was trying to get peace going with brothers, and the book will tell you about how he lost that eye. But anyway, Dominique, enjoy.
Okay. I just want to ask you a follow-up question here, Carl. Did you hang up? I guess he hung up. I don't know if he's talking about COVID emergency, houselessness emergency, ICE emergency, fire emergency. We've had so many emergencies in the Southland. I was trying to track which emergency he was talking about. But the Section 8 scenario is a whole mess. And I'm not an expert on it, but what I know is that they don't have enough housing that accepts Section 8 to place the people that have the vouchers, emergency or otherwise. And it's one of the reasons why there's these long, long waiting lists. And that's part of our problem. It's one of the reasons why I feel like, and I know it's easier to say than it is to do, but I feel like the government may have to get back into the housing business. Building houses, buying houses, keeping them affordable. Because, I mean, you heard Bryant Odega first thing this morning talking about the challenge for new teachers, right? New teachers trying to live where they work. And it's the same problem that we see with fast food workers, restaurant workers, pretty much all workers at this point. If you don't have a professional job like lawyer, doctor, cop, even though they don't seem to have the desire to live where they work, but that's another show for another day. Many of us want to live where we work. And the wages, the current wages, and it's not just LA, this is happening in New York, it's happening in Florida, many other big cities, San Francisco for sure, I assume Chicago, I haven't seen the data, where definitely Washington, D.C., the minimum wage doesn't allow you to pay the rent for the city where you work. Even 2 minimum wage jobs, 40-hour jobs, won't do that. Even what we're calling living wages, for the most part, won't do that. So that means we have to take this emergency nationwide, and we're going to have to get out of the mindset that housing is a for-profit venture. All right, we're going to talk Mr. Alameen, Jamil Abdullah Alameen. Dr. Abdullah will join me next. Dr. Melina Abdullah will join me next to cover that conversation. Carl, thanks for queuing that up. All that after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Florida's GOP race for governor adds another name, investment CEO Jack Fishback. He took a swipe at black Republican Congressman Byron Donalds, whose campaign fired back, calling Fishback an anti-Trump rhino.
He is a slave to the corporate interests, to the tech bros that want to turn our state into, his own words, a financial capital.
Fishback's platform focused on affordability and banning corporate home buying. The oldest survivor of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre has died. Viola Fletcher passed away Monday at the age of 111. Former President Barack Obama was among many to pay tribute to Fletcher, posting on X that he and former First Lady Michelle Obama were sending their love to her family. And Chance the Rapper will ring in the new year in his hometown of Chicago, hosting the city's debut as a Central Time Zone location for Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest 2026. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Interested gaming at Crypto.com arena tonight in downtown LA.